Welcome to the Speaking of Math podcast, episode number 45 by Door to Math. This podcast is devoted to all things math education and how parents can be a positive factor in their kids' math learning. Math is the gateway to many professional careers as well as confidence and personal growth. Find more information at www.doortomath2.com or on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram pages at Tucson Math Doc. So we also have a new ebook out. It's called Baking Math Pie, A Parent's Guide to Mathability for Kids. For a limited time, we're offering a free preview PDF copy. To get your free preview PDF copy, send email to mathdoc@doortomath.com, and Door to Math has a number 2 in it. So let's get on with the topic of the day. Today we're going to talk about something called vertical dialogue. On January 10th, 1901, Anthony Lucas, an Army engineer, changed the history of Texas. Refusing to quit at the drilling depth of 902 feet above Spindletop Hill near Beaumont, Texas, Captain Lucas believed in the potential of his drilling site. Months earlier, his rotating hydraulic drill had collapsed because, just like everyone else, his team ran into a sand layer of several hundred feet. Sand made the drill holes prone to caving in. Working alongside his crew, Lucas forged on. Then one of his crew members, Kurt Hamill, came up with the innovative solution of pumping mud instead of water into the drill hole to flush out the cuttings produced by the action of the drill. Mud has been used ever since. As it turned out, not only did mud help in cooling off the drill tips, it stuck to the sides of the drill hole and kept them from caving in. Then, on January 9th, they hit the liquid gold at the drilling depth of 1,210 feet. The prize? 100,000 barrels of oil per day, some 20,000 times more than Lucas was hoping for. There's only one place in Saudi Arabia where oil flows out of the ground without any help. Likewise, it's very seldom that whatever is blocking a student's academic progress can be discovered by the first question. Effective dialogue with the child is very similar to drilling for oil. The true issues are not at the surface, but can be much further down, and using the right questions is just like the mud in drilling. There are useless questions that keep the conversation at the surface. These questions do little to encourage the child to get back on track. Some examples are, how are you? How are you doing? How much homework do you have today? While well-intended, these types of questions do little to find out what is needed in terms of emotional energy or in terms of how much time should be allocated to working with the student today. Effective questions, on the other hand, will help mom assess how much emotional energy will be required for the homework at night. How heavy is your homework tonight? What do you suggest to do to get it done? What do you need from me to get it done? These types of questions attempt to tap a vein and engage the student in thinking about how to complete the task at hand. Many adults believe that questions that can be answered by either yes or no are ineffective because this type of question does not require an explanation. This belief may lead mom to ask more questions, but starting with open-ended questions for a child may get the conversation stuck because initially these questions may be too big or too overwhelming for the child to answer. Mom can gauge how much the child is able to communicate and ask the questions accordingly. If a mom asks, "What's your most difficult homework assignment?" the child's answer may give clues for the order the homework should begin. For one student, beginning with the most difficult assignment followed by a less difficult one may be most effective. For another student, the opposite may be true. For a third student, offering her a choice based on how tired they are may be the most considerate route. The intent for asking questions should be to help students with their academics. Effective questions can follow what a child starts sharing about. Tell me more about. What do you mean by? Let me see if I have this right. The goal is to help student process the information. For this approach to work, mom needs to be patient. The words mom uses may need to be clarified. For example, simple doesn't have the same meaning for the mom and for the child. What is simple for the parent may be incomprehensible for the child. If in doubt, using the phrasing suggested above, and don't assume that both mom and child are on the same page. Besides all of the previous questions, it never hurts to ask sincerely. What do you make of? Do you have a suggestion of how we could? Even if the child can't answer either of these questions, just asking these questions will yield an emotional investment. Usually we go back and forth and talk about a math topic, and we're trying something new today. We're reading a chapter out of our ebook that we're putting out, Baking Math Pie, A Parent's Guide to Mathability for Kids, and we're hoping to start a conversation.
Now, one word of note on the pronouns, because usually moms who come to me, I usually use the word mom to mean the person who's parenting the child. It might be a dad, a grandparent, or even an older sister, brother who has taken on the responsibility for a child. Whoever you are, I am speaking to you from bottom of our hearts.
And on this note, until next time, happy parenting.